Hi guys, welcome back. James here again with the team at Progress Your Fitness TV. What we're going to be looking at today is modifying and adjusting those individuals who feel themselves falling into this posture. So turn side up for me, Gemma. So stick your bottom out, lovely. That lumbar extension. Again, what we want to be doing is minimizing extension here, because as long as we're slammed into extension, our body's ability to rotate is going to be negated, and rotation is a really important factor in good function. So what we're looking to do here is return Gemma to a normal position. In order for her to get there, we're going to loosen up some muscles that may make her life a little bit easier. Okay, so a couple of muscles that we're going to think about today, primarily sitting through the front of Gemma's thigh. We have three major muscles to consider. We have the major quadricep, the muscle called rectus femoris, vaguely attaches to the top of the pelvis down to the knee. We have two smaller muscles that actually sit into Gemma's pelvis here. We have iliacus and we have psoas. The two functionally combine together to create what we commonly know as the hip flexors. So Gemma, can you just demonstrate hip flexion for me just by bringing that knee up towards the chest? Great, that's the function of those muscles here. And relax. So when they're in a tight state, what they tend to do is they tend to stick the bottom out. Bottom out for me. Lovely. They tend to kind of hold the hip tight here and stick the bottom out. So what we're going to do is loosen those muscles up today. Okay. So Gemma, if you wouldn't mind just getting yourself into a kneeling position for me. So what you'll notice we've done here is we've approximated Gemma closely to the wall. That hasn't happened by accident. We've done that deliberately, and I'll explain why in a second. Gemma, from this position, just take that left foot and just bring it up in front of yourself. Great. From this position here, Gemma, could I just get you to place your left hand on the wall? Great. Now, the moment Gemma uses the wall, what she's doing is she's giving her body a sense of stability. Now, with that feeling of stability, stretching becomes a lot more easy. If we can use the example of Gemma feeling wobbly, take that arm away. If she's feeling wobbly and unstable, the muscles that we're trying to stretch may well be tightening up to give her the stability that she's seeking. So take that away. The muscles can relax and we can do what they need to, okay? From this position here, what we're going to find very important is maintaining a neutral lower back. What I see very commonly is people knowing that they need to stretch these muscles, but they go through the motion and as a consequence end up reinforcing the very thing we're trying to prevent. So if you could just demonstrate badly how that works out for me here, Gemma. So you see a lot of people leaning forward over that front knee and ending up, just bring this up and out of the way so the camera can see, sticking their bottom into this extended position. Again, this is what we're trying to avoid. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring Gemma home and we're going to get her to set her pelvis up before she goes anywhere. The best way to do that is to switch on two muscles. Tummy muscles, pull them in for me, and bottom muscle on that side, just give it a good squeeze. The aim of the game is to try to tilt the pelvis backwards. From this position, you may already begin to feel a nice stretch either into the front of your tummy or down the front of the thigh. That's exactly what we're going for here. Once you've got the hip and the pelvis locked into a neutral position, the aim of the game is to generate more of a stretch by very gently sending the pelvis forward. And as we send the pelvis forward, what we may begin to feel is a slight exaggeration of the stretch into the front of the thigh and into the tummy. Being very careful not to lose that lower back position. Wonderful job. And back to neutral. Progressions for this can be varied and it will make a difference depending on your particular anatomy. Some people find that an advancement to this may involve using the arm on the side of the downward leg. From this position here from me, Gemma, we're going to take that arm up overhead and we're very gently going to lock our bottom into that neutral position and we're going to add a very gentle shift forward, and then once we're into that stretch we're going to feel a very gentle side bend. This may pick up on some pockets of the psoas and iliacus that we've missed during that initial stretch. If it doesn't work for you, that's not a problem. We can try something else. Return to neutral for me here, Gemma. Great. The next modification we can make, ironically, is to create a crunch through the spine. Again, we set ourselves up the same way. So squeezing the bottom muscles, squeezing the tummy muscles, tucking under. Now from here, imagine if you would, you're giving me an abdominal crunch. From this position here, what we're doing is we're taking the spinal joints and moving them away from the hip, and as a consequence stretching that psoas and that iliacus as well. Actually not iliacus, it's psoas exclusively. And return home here. With any of these stretches, what I like to do is encourage a stretch that lasts between about 15 and 30 seconds. Again, we're not looking for any pain or discomfort, just a nice feeling of release as we repeat those movement patterns. Repeat 3 times and that should be sufficient. The next set of muscles that we want to consider in this extended position, Gemma, if you could just kneel for me square on. Great. Is what we consider to be an exercise that will target the muscles of the front of the tummy, reintroducing the pelvis back to the lower rib cage. Okay. From this position, it's a favourite of mine, is this hand-knee position that's good for the lower back. What we're going to do in this position here, Gemma, is just encourage ourselves into that cat stretch that we've done previously. If you haven't seen the tutorial on the cat stretch, go and check it out, okay? From this position here, the aim of the game is to pull the tummy muscles in, then very gently to send the body weight over the wrists. We're not going to go too far. Come back a little bit for me, Gemma. That's great. Do me a favour, just tuck those toes under. And now what we're going to do is just add a little lift through the knees. So we're going to come up off the floor and we're going to hold that position. The aim of the game is to be able to hold this tucked position, work on it, for up to about 30 seconds. Okay, Gemma's probably going to feel her lower tummy muscles and her outer rib muscles working quite hard now. You okay there?
Yep.
And relax it for me. Great stuff. If you can hold that up to 30 seconds, fantastic. Repeat about 3 times. In failing that, build it up successfully. 10 seconds at a time, 15 seconds at a time. Take rests where you need them. Within the course of a few days, you will become stronger at this until you can hit your 30-second mark. Okay. Add that together with some of the hip stretches, you may begin to find it slightly easier for you to hold that nice neutral position. Until next time, go and have some fun with it.